What's up, YouTube? We back with another review. Today we're gonna be reviewing Gachiakuta episode 24, the final. Let's get it. Start the episode with Rudo. He's looking out the window at Rimlin, the spellcaster. She looks sad and depressed, but he don't know what to do. He don't know how to help her. And as he's gazing out the window, suddenly Zonka appears. Zonka looks at him and says, "You want to help her, don't you? But you just don't know how to." Rudo then says, "Yeah, I'm just not that guy." Zonka replies and says, "Quit feeling down on yourself. Man, just go do it already." He then adds Ammo name to the mix. He says, "You can't go look for ammo by yourself, so we'll join you." And as Zonka looks out the window at a sad Rimlin, he would then urge Rudo to go and try to make friends and try to reach out to her. And as we move to the next scene, that's exactly what happens. But it happens a bit awkwardly, because as Rudo approaches her, he makes one of the weirdest faces ever. And not only that, he starts yelling at her and says, "I can't draw for anything, I suck." Rudo says, "And as it relates to drawing, I can't help you with that. I don't know how you feel." He would then try to reach his hand out and try to be nice with her. He says, "But could you please teach me how to draw so I won't be embarrassed to show somebody?" And as Rudo awkwardly tries to make friends with her and be nice, he says, "I also want to go to Canvas Town when we have free time to go see some of your art." After you get through yapping, Rimlin says, "Bro, you are chatting." And she stops crying and starts laughing. The plan works. And after the scene, we continue along. The head of the cleaners, Zordel, would task Rudo and the younger cleaners to go to Canvas Town. Moving along, they would finally arrive. But just like kids, the younger cleaners start to annoy Rudo. Continuing on, we get a flashback. And the episode actually goes 24 hours before the current time. And as we go back to the headquarters of the cleaners, everybody's having fun. The kids are drawing and the grown-ups are playing cards. Going forth a little bit, see me, you and the boss of the cleaners, Corvus, arrives. And as Corvus walks into the room, he sees Rudo and the other little cleaners drawing. He's amazed. He says, "Hey, what are y'all drawing?" Rimlin then says, "Yeah, Rudo wanted to cheer me up, so he wanted to learn how to draw." She then trolls Rudo, grabs his paper, and gives it to Corvus. And after him and Simiyu hilariously react to the horrible drawing, we move along. Next, the anime focuses on Rimlin's drawing. She explains to the rest of the cleaners that this picture is going on a special mural. And not only that, this picture is special to the generation that she comes from. It represents her time. But she explains that the bad thing is, where the mural is located, it's a very tough place to draw. After the scene, we move forth a little bit. Corvus tells them that, "Hey, I want you, Rudo, and the rest of these young cleaners to go on a trip to Canvas Town. It's a special mission." Afterwards, the flashback ends and we go to the current time. Rudo is watching over the younger cleaners with his life. He says, "I'm the oldest, so I have to protect them." And as they're traveling, walking around the town, they're supposed to be by themselves. Nobody's watching them. But hilariously, Engine and Bro are actually watching over them with binoculars. Bro gets worried a little bit for him. He says, "Wait, you sure that they can handle this?" Engine then says, "Yes." He says, "Bro, you forget they held their own when we went against the fake trash beast?" Afterwards, the camera pans to Bro. He then starts to question the boss of the cleaners. He says, "Why would the boss just put Rudo and the rest of these cleaners at risk? It's like he's using them as bait." Engine responds and he says, "Nah, I don't think so. You'd have to be a real idiot to fall for a bait that looks so good to be true." And as they're talking, Engine suddenly sees something that catches his attention. He says, "What?" Soon after, the anime moves to the next scene. We head back to the cleaners' headquarters. And Corvus, the head of the cleaners, is cleaning himself up. He's trying to look presentable. Simiyu says, "Bro, who you looking good for?" He then says, "I feel like we might have some elegant guests today." And surprisingly, his guess is right, because a group of people will arrive, and they will be called the Hell Guards. And as the leader sits down and talks to Corvus, she starts to demand answers from him. She starts to press him on the recent event that happened when they defeated the trash beast. She explains to him, she says, that event caused regular people to get injured. She continues and says, when you defeat a trash beast and someone get injured, you gotta report that to us. Corvus responds, he says, "Bro, when we usually file our report, even if it's a week later, y'all never even give us a warning. Y'all don't say anything." He then says, "I find it strange. You just show up here so suddenly." He then asks, "What's your real problem?" After the scene, we move to Rudo and the younger cleaners exploring Whole Town. Rudo is curious. Rimlin then explains the lore to him about Whole Town. She says, this area is great for ink that lasts a long time. And after she explains everything to him, they stop to get some ice cream. But, unfortunately, they will be watched by none other than the Raider Fu. Fu then recognizes Rudo. He says, wait, that's the guy that Zordo was interested in. But crazy, as soon as he says Zordo, he remembers how Zordo left him after he failed his mission. He says, I'm a loser. He screams and says, somebody please give me orders. Suddenly, the mysterious Master He says, quit being weak and go get your next host. Go and talk to him. Fu hilariously responds and says, yeah, you're right. I only take orders from others. He then says, I'll make Engine the one I take my orders from. Afterwards, we move to the next scene. Rudo is going crazy. He's fiending for more sugar. The younger cleaners try to stop him. And next, the craziest thing happens. As they're tussling all together, they somewhat make a shadow that looks like a monster. The Raider Fu sees this and he gets spooked. He says, oh nah, the cleaners are scary. After a couple funny cameos in between, we move along to the next scene. Rudo and the younger cleaners arrive at Canvas Town. Everyone's excited. But Remlin, she's on the ground yelling and screaming from exhaustion. She yells at the cleaner. She said, man, why y'all ain't tired? We've walked a long way. They say, we do this all the time. We used to it. After Remlin get through crashing out, the mayor of Canvas Town and the rest of the cleaners arrive. And in the next scene, we will go to the spellcaster's mural. And when the rest of the cleaners get inside this mural, they're shocked and fascinated because all of the spellcaster's art is not on the wall, it's actually above them. And as all of them are staring in amazement, Remlin explains that the original spellcaster, Makaka, did this intentionally. And as they're analyzing the different art throughout the history, Rudo and Engine are shocked at something. They see the same symbol as the Watchmen series on the mural. And after this intense scene, we move to the next one. The anime takes us back to the conversation between Corvus and the head of the Hell Guards. She basically say, hey, we're going to take Rudo. We need to know all of his information. Corvus says, wait, bro, hold up. He didn't do anything wrong, and plus he works for us. He says, no. Soon after we get to the final scene of the anime, Remlin will fill in Rudo and the rest of the cleaners on the Watchmen series logo. She will explain to them that this logo that they're talking about, the Watchmen series, is actually owned by a person. His name is The Undertaker. She then says his name, Kane Surbrick. Rudo's face goes into shock. He says, wait, I'm Rudo Surbrick. And the anime ends on that cliffhanger. It has us thinking, wait, is Rudo related to this Undertaker?